Let's see. So what deaths have we had so far? We've had death from height, death from height, death from drowning. Honestly, I don't even remember them all anymore because they're all presented so quickly. And this one is what?
A
A
poem for
poem for
Gus,
Gus.
who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard.
Oh, it's a kite. I still love the way this game plays with subtitles.
My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart.
Any more behind here? Evidently not. And this is what, a wedding?
I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom were the words that I
now
remember.
pronounce you
A wedding.
and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Oh.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined and as a sign held up his middle finger.
Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, he's about to get hit.
The wind picked up and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
So next subtitles will be at the tent. Somewhat of an odd day to have a wedding, though.
The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder."
So irresponsible.
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
Killed by a storm.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
We got 3 left. Dawn, Lewis, and then Milton, and then Edith. What's this? Raise flag, quiet time duties. What the fuck? Yo, you guys had a rock climb in your house? That's the shit. Wait, what's up there? That's awesome. Although it would really kind of suck if somebody fell. Wait, can I use that? Oh my god.
After her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get.
I think it'd be pretty sweet to be up here.
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Ah, and this is your parents. Shit.
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
It very much can.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Lewis was born a year later.
And here we go. And down doesn't look like
When
an
my
option.
dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that.
Oh, and here's where we get to the Minecraft part of it, where we have just a bunch of... Oh, this is actually the top. Holy shit.
And for a while, things were good. Almost normal, but it didn't last.
Because you had more... What is this, a fucking... Oh, a homeschooling thing all the way up here? Isn't that a pain in the ass, though, to sit there and have your homeschool be all the way up here?
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
And here's the castle. And we're at the very top now. No, we're not. Never mind, there's still a bunch of shit left. But this is sealed off. But not from here.
I think Edie was happy to finally have another painter in the family. Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
I haven't seen a picture book thing like this in so long. Okay, how long is this fucking thing? There we go. Holy shit. Whew.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
All right, I forgot. He just fucking disappeared all of a sudden. Not gonna lie, I forgot about that.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
Because she's a fucking lunatic.
Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
So the house is a secret. Alright. Time to go up to the denizens. And this is where the Minecraft part of this
blamed
fucking house
Edie,
starts.
but I think Lewis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
I love how all these doors are sealed and yet there's easily accessible ways to get in anyway.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
A bong. Oh yeah, I gotta say that I would be scared shitless to be up here though. I mean, look how high up he is. A motherfucking place. Oh, they're calling it a Wonderland
Lewis and I
Turbo.
spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
High school diploma.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse.
You mean smoking
Newly
weed?
sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander.
Oh!
I asked him to describe it. He said he started small. Imagining
This is hard because I'm having to pitch.
he'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But but his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him. At all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination, so he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor, and he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on. In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a handsome queen. The queen was on her own quest for sinister serpents. He followed the sound of her silver harp. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Well, shit. That was one hell of a trip.
He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Louis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt. I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on inviting him. His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head.
Oh, fuck.
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Well, Louis Finch. That was an extraordinarily long bit that, I mean, it's the personification of a lot of people these days in the sense that they live in their own heads. It was weird to see in a game. Quite frankly, I'm surprised. I thought it was going to be about him getting his hand fucking cut off in the thingy or some shit, but
On the way back from
apparently
Lewis's
not.
funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder.
Is this the top? Nope. Motherfucker. I'm no expert on architecture, but I'm pretty sure this house would not fit code.
I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left.
Because everybody fucking died. This is the fucking second house?
My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
Honest to God, who the fuck would feel comfortable living in a fucking house like this?
What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner.
Edith.
But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
Your shit.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
To our final night together, and all our final nights apart.
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
How long ago was this again? Long enough for everything to be dark as shit.
the power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
You guys' house had its own library?
The thing
Motherfucker.
you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
Eesh. History of the Finches.
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around.
Motherfucker.
I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine!
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the band came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot.
What would make this a lot more realistic is if they had like
We both
Sonic the
tried to make the
Hedgehog or
best
some
of it.
shit doing parkour out there. Oh, I see.
A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this.
I was about to say that you know of.
If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is.
Oh, right. She means the fucking
This
baby.
journal
Does
was
that mean
supposed
I'm
to be for
inside the
you.
vagina right now?
But now I hope you'll never see it.
Because that's fucking...
I just want to meet you. And tell you all these stories myself.
Yep, she's referring to the baby. Okay.
But I guess if you're reading this now, things
means
didn't
I'm
work out
dead
that
too.
way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
See, they didn't really explain what happened to Edith. That's it? That's it. I'll say one thing now, which is that this is, despite all the death and melancholy and whatnot, this is the least fucked up short narrative that I've played. Another one was The Town of Light, which was Fubar, fucked up beyond all recognition. Another one was Martha's Dead, which was Fubar. Are there any others that I've done that I can think of? Okay, so this isn't quite the credits, but I did remember one more short narrative game that I've done, aside from the other two that I just thought I'd mention, which is The Park. And The Park was also more fucked up than this game was. Although, compared to The Town of Light and the other fucking one, whatever, Martha's Dead, compared to those two, The Park isn't as bad, but it's still worse than this one. So, just thought I'd mention that. When I say short narratives, I mean like a 3-hour long game. I recorded Gone Home for about an hour, but that game turned out to be fucking stupid, so... And it turned out to be fucking stupid because all it is some dumbass lesbian love story. Now, I don't have anything against lesbian love stories, but at least try to make it remotely interesting. It was not. And the game was cel-shaded, which didn't quite get with me. Okay, can we